Hi friends, welcome to my blog ECG Basics. As in previous blog, I discussed about the standardization of the boxes and about the boxes. In this blog, I will be discussing mainly on the heart rate calculation. Though I have taken the steps with which we will proceed in subsequent blogs. So in subsequent blog I will be discussing about the rate, rhythm, axis calculation, this ECG rule of force, super axis man-sam, lead positioning, waves, various waves and intervals, and in last when we will understand all these things, we will go with the clinical interpretation. Before going to calculation of the heart rate, we must know about the paper speed. The paper output state is the rate at which the ECG machine produces a trace. A standard output is 25 millimeter per second. If we use different speeds, then standard rate calculation will have to be modified accordingly. Okay. A standard paper speed is 25 millimeter per second. As we know that one small scale is 1 mm. So, since we know speed of the paper is 25 millimeter 1 second, 1 millimeter will be equal to 1 by 25. That will be kitna, it will be 0.04 second, 0.04 second, or we can say 40 millisecond. And since we know one large scale, it contains 5 small scale, means 5 mm. If 1 mm is 1 mm is 0.04 second, 5 mm or one large scale will be equal to 5 into 0.04, that will be 0.02 seconds. So, one large scale is 0.2 second, or we can say 200 millisecond. So, 5 large scales they will constitute 1 second. Okay. One small scale is equal to 0.04 second or 40 millisecond. 5 small scale means one large scale will be equal to 0.2 second, and 5 large scale will constitute 1 second. So, here in this ECG we can see that these are the small scales and this is the large scale. One small scale is 1 mm and one large scale is 5 mm. Okay. So, this one small scale means 1 millimeter is equal to 40 millisecond, or we can say 0.04 second, and one large scale is equal to 200 milliseconds, or we can say 0.2 second. Is it okay? So, at standard speed of 25 millimeter per second, the rhythm strip usually consists of 250 small scale or 50 large scale, and that is equal to 10 seconds. Means अगर हम पूरी ECG strip देखें, if we see whole of the ECG strip, it contains about 200 small scale, 50 large scale, and that will be equal to, this whole ECG rhythm strip is of 10 second duration. 10 second duration means it will contain 250 small scale, 50 large scales. ठीक है. Before calculating the rate in beats per minute, we should understand that rhythm strip is recorded for 1 minute. Since we calculate the heart rate as heart rate beats per minute, and this ECG strips usually is equal to 10 seconds. So, we have to multiply it by 6 to get 1 minute. So, since this ECG strips is only 250 small scale, we will have to use 1500 small scales or 300 large scale to make it 1 minute. Is it understood? So for calculation of the heart rate, we use 3 methods. Usually these methods, the first 2 methods, large scale method or small scale method, these are used for when the rhythm is regular, and these R wave methods we can use in we can say when the rhythm is irregular. I will later come to know come to tell you that how we can say the rhythm is regular or irregular. In large scale method, what we see is as we know that 300 large scale is equal to 1 minute at a paper speed of 25 millimeter. Let us go to the previous slide. We could see that in one ECG rhythm strip, it contains 250 small scale or 50 large scales, that is equal to 10 seconds, and to make it 1 minute we have to multiply it by 6 seconds, sorry 6. So when we will multiply 10 second into 6, we will get 60 seconds, that is 1 minute. So 1 minute will contain 1500 small scale or 300 large scale. Since we have to calculate the heart rate, heart beats per minute, so we will be using either small scales or large scale, and for this as we know 1 minute strip will contain 1500 small scale and 1 minute ECG strip will contain 300 large scale. So once we are using the method of large scale method, we have to see if this is the ECG rhythm strip, and if we see these are small scale, small scale, small scale, small scale, small scale, small scale. I will be and so let us see these are large scales, these are large scales in between. So they will have 5 at least minimum 5 small scales. So if we see the PQRS complexes, we have to see number of QR wave, sorry, number of large scale between 2 R waves. Okay, let's go to the next slide, which I will make it more clear. Here we can see that these are the large scale, and in between we have small scale. So we have to see that these are the PQRS complexes, PQRS complexes, and these are the R waves. So when we are using the method of large scale method, we have to see these are the 2 R waves. We have to calculate how many large scales are there. This is 1, 2 and 3. ठीक है. Since in this ECG here if we see this RR interval, means R wave and R wave, we see there are 3 large scale, and similarly if we see here it contains 1, 2, 3, 4 large scale, and here it contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 large scale between 2 R waves. Okay, to calculate rate by using large scale method, we have to divide, since we know 1 minute strip means usually the ECG rhythm strip is of 10 seconds, and for that we have to since we have to calculate the heart rate as in 1 minute. So in previous slides as we saw that 1 minute is contains about how many 300 large scales. So we will write the denominator as 300 large scale. So we will calculate number of large scale between the R waves. So we will say R interval in large scale, or we can say large number of large scale between 2 R waves in ECG. अगर हमने रेट कैलकुलेट करना है and if we are using large scale, we have to divide 300 by number of large boxes between the two R waves. Okay, let us see. If we see that if we see here, these are the R waves and it contains only one large scale. तो rate will be equal to 300 divided by 1. ठीक है. अगर हम if we use these two R waves, R wave and R wave, it contains two large scale. तो rate will be 300 divided by 2, that is 150. If we use this as 1, 2, 3, there are 3 large boxes between two R waves. So 300 divided by 3, so it will be 100. Similarly, we can, if we see here, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 large boxes. 300 divided by 4, it will be 4 6 the 4 7 the 28 and 2 4 5 the 20, 75 beats per minute. Okay, if we see this one, it contains 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 large scale. So 300 divided by 5, 5 6 the 30, so 60. So to make it more clear, if we are using in regular rhythm, if we are using large scale method, we have to see how many large boxes are there between two R waves and we have to divide 300 by those number of boxes. ठीक है. तो one simple way to remember this method is, we are using large method. If we find one square between two, 2 square between R waves, 3 square, 4 square, 5 square, 6 square, and so on. If there is 1 square, so we will get 300 as heart rate. If we get 2, the heart rate will be 150. If we have 3, heart rate will be 100. If we have 4, heart rate will be 75. If we have 5 large square between two R waves, it will be 60 and so on. ठीक है. So if we are using this method, we can remember this as 300, 150, 100, 75 and 60 and so on. मीन्स 300 हम तब बोलेंगे जब एक लार्ज स्केयर होगा, 150 हार्ट रेट तब बोलेंगे जब दो लार्ज स्केयर होंगे आर वेव में, 100 तब बोलेंगे 3 होंगे लार्ज स्केयर बिटवीन आर वेव, 75 जब 4 और 60 5. तो मतलब वी कैन रिमेंबर है 300, 150, 100, 75 and 60. Okay, this was about the large scale method. Now we come to the small scale method. It is also same, as we know that 1 minute will contain 1500 small scale. So we have to divide 1500 divided by number of small squares between the R wave. Like here we can see this R wave, this is R wave. The number of R waves are number of small scale are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. 1500 divided by 5, we will get 300 beats per minute. Similarly, if we see this figure, there are how many a small scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1500 divided by 10, we get the heart rate as 150 beats per minute. And also we can see here between two R waves how many small scale 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 1500 divided by 15, we get 100 beats per minute. So for small scale, if we are using small scale, the rate calculation will be 1500 divided by number of small squares between R and R wave, between two R waves. This method is used when heart rate is very fast and and we have to use these small squares. We have to count the small squares between the two RR waves, and we have to divide that by 1500. Okay. Then we have next is the R wave method. This is the third method. Here in one rhythm strip we calculate just this is an rhythm strip, and we see QRS complexes, QRS complexes, QRS complexes, QRS complexes, QRS complexes, QRS. We just calculate 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. 8 अगर R wave है, 8 R into we have to multiply 6. Number of R waves multiplied by 6. But this is usually used when we have irregular rhythms, like in atrial fibrillation or atrial flutter, etc. Atrial fibrillation. The number of complexes we have to calculate the R waves. ठीक है, as we know one rhythm strip is 10 seconds, so we calculate 8. मान लिया जैसे मैंने इसमें बोला कि 8 R waves है, then to make it 1 minute we have to multiply by 6. It gives average beats per minute. Okay, like we can see here, actually this is using small scale method, large scale method and R wave method. तो R wave method में हमें we have to see how many R waves are there in one ECG rhythm strip, and we have to multiply by 6. So we will get the heart rate, heartbeats per minute. In this is that was especially useful in atrial fibrillation. I think I must conclude now, and if any query you can send me the reply or ask me for any clarification. This was regarding the heart rate calculation.